Everybody, and welcome to my in5 series where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. Bob over on my Patreon asked a question about how do you get large samples onto a device. Apparently he was watching a Red Means recording video, and he had just had mentioned that there's a well-known tactic for getting large length samples into lower amounts of storage or memory on a sampler. So I've got the P6 here, which only has 3 seconds of sample time at the highest sample rate. And I've got the TP7 here just because I can control the pitch and speed that things are playing. So I figured it was worth going over kind of the relationship here because we have a limited amount of sample time on the P6. Each slot is 3 seconds, and we can do things where we can pitch things up and down. So by default here, I've got this bunch of drum loops that I've got on my TP7. I can hit play, and these are all 160 BPM. Some of them are 1 bar, 2 bar, 4 bar loops. So they're going to go at different speed, or they're going to all play at 160 BPM, but they're all going to be different lengths based on how long they are. So I'm not always going to be able to fit those into a 3-second sample slot on the P6. And what has been done back in the 80s and 90s, especially for samplers where you may only have like enough sample time for a second or two, sometimes 3 would be generous, is basically you pitch up the sample. So this is where you'll hear about people talking about vinyl, that they might have a 33 RPM, which is the speed that the record is going to rotate around. And they would play it at 45 because basically you're just increasing the speed that the record is playing. And then what you do is on the sampler, record that it's playing faster at a higher pitch. Because of that relationship, the higher the pitch, the higher the speed, and vice versa. The higher the speed, the higher the pitch. So when you do that, you've now basically pitched up the content, and to get it to play back correctly, you need to pitch it back down. Now, the reason why I've got the TP7 here is I can come in and change, whoops, if I don't push the button wrong, I can come in and I can basically change how fast it plays. So before it was 160 BPM, I can now play at 320 BPM. I've doubled the speed that this is playing at, and that basically it's pitched up a whole octave, so plus 12 semitones. In this case, it's actually going up 100 cents, but these relationships all kind of work together. So if you're going, it's basically saying I'm going 100% faster, which again is a 1 whole octave up higher, and it's playing twice as fast, so it takes half as long. So I can take and play this 320 BPM into my P6 and get far more. Instead of 3 seconds, I'm now able to get effectively 6 seconds of sample time. So if I hit play, I'm going to hit this, sample, hit the pad, hit sample again. It's in standby. I'm going to record as much as we can. And now we're done. I might have had it at a lower sample quality. I'm not sure. It seemed like it went a little bit longer than 6 seconds, but maybe it was 6. It was close. Anyway, regardless, sounds like a bunch of noise. What I need to do, if I want to have it play back correctly, is I need to go drop the pitch back down -12 because I made it play 100% faster. So now you can hear it's playing correctly, the right speed. If I go set this back to 0% change, I can now come in. We can compare it. So that's how it sounds here. One more time. Play it here. The main difference that you're effectively doing is trading off the amount of available frequency space for it to record in. It's a little bit of a incorrect way to think about it. So you're kind of almost doing like a low pass filter. You just don't have enough sample slots to capture a distinct amount for the higher frequencies. So they start to fall off. I wouldn't necessarily say it's exactly like a high pass or a low pass filter being brought in, because you get like different types of artifacts and it will tone tonally change the sound a tiny bit. But again, I mean, these are pretty close and you still get the same feel. And you start dropping this into a mix and people may not notice this difference. So I'll play it again. And again, like this is just playing normal speed. And it's got all of that tonality. So like to me, it certainly sounds like the hi-hats and like the snares and things are a little bit more subdued, but think about it this way. We've managed to take that 3 seconds of sample time and now we've got 6 seconds in there. We can go further. I mean, you could, if you have a way that you can increase it by up to 2 octaves, you've just quadrupled the speed and now you just need to drop it down. And the P6 does go up to plus or minus 4 octaves. So you can do some very extreme time stretching, but it's going to also give you some very extreme changes to the sounds. So, you know, personally, I would say play around with pitching things up, you know, because the relationship between pitch and speed will be consistent when you're pitching up and down, and by and large works the same as you're going across different devices. So if you wanted to make something 50% faster, pitch it up 6 semitones, record it, and then when you're on your other device for your sampler, pitch it down 6 semitones, and it'll effectively play the same at the same BPM with the same pitch and everything else. So again, with like the tonality changed a little bit, but it should sound the same. Anyway, I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you're looking for just how to either creatively kind of change your sounds without needing a whole lot of gear, definitely play around with pitching things up and down. And if you got like something with a P6 or you got the OP1 where you only have, again, 6 seconds of sample time or anything, don't be afraid to try pitching things up or down. You can certainly recover or kind of add some extra sounds by going in and using effects after the fact, whether you try like using saturation or some other, like some drive or other filter effects. You can really kind of flesh out a sound, make something sound a little bit different, have some fun with it, and get something new. Anyway, guys, well, Bob, thank you for the question. And everybody else, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.